All right, it's live, but it's probably going to take a second. It is live. Hey, everybody. I wonder if any... All right, there we go. You're about to see us. You're going to actually see us kind of sitting here wondering what's going on for a minute, or you will have seen that. That happened before.
Great start, Patrick. It's an awesome start to
Time
the
travel. We are living about 4 to 5, well, maybe about 10 seconds in your future or your past. I don't know how it works. So, hey, guys, what's up? Welcome to our hangout. Rob, take the floor.
Oh, okay. We'll let some people trickle in. What we're going to do is we're going to have some conversation about some what would you say, Patrick? Some non-board game gamer gifts?
Sure. Yeah. Well, yeah. Not exactly. Non-board game gamer gifts. That's a perfect.
Thank you. Thank you for correcting me, but then agreeing.
No.
And then we are going to filter some questions from YouTube. We're going to filter some questions from BGG that people sent us. The people sent us emails with some questions. We're going to answer those questions the best way that we can, I guess. I was going to make a joke about nudity, but maybe I shouldn't yet. It seems too early to make jokes about nudity.
I was going to, just so you know, we're going to end this one out with a, well, you guys will see. Remember how we talked about that live performance and the tassels? Rob is going to nail it. By the way, Rodney is in the
chat.
House. The house. We're going to guide him through a little shoveling fun. We have had some shoveling fun here ourselves. What did we have? 14 inches?
We had about 14 to 15 inches.
Not to brag.
It's nothing like our fellow Canadians see, though. That's like chump
Fellow
change.
Canadians, we're American.
No, I said what our fellow Canadians see.
Yeah. We but I may have caused my car. Time will tell. Tomorrow, you may hear in the next episode about my car falling over a cliff and crashing into my neighbor's house. Cross fingers.
I'm not sure that's how that works, Patrick.
Oh God. I've got de-icer and everything. I had worked so during the storm. I've shoveled throughout, right? Like I started at the very beginning, shovel.
Aren't you supposed to wait until it stops snowing so you don't have to?
No.
I'm not a smart guy, but
you're supposed to do it bit by bit. Otherwise, it's a whole bunch, and heart condition.
I feel like the story you're about ready to tell us is that you were doing it all day long.
No, I did all day yesterday and all day today.
Yeah, that's wrong. What you should do is you don't shovel it all, and then you just wait till it warms up, and then it melts it all, and then that's when you can leave, is when it's melted.
Gotcha. Oh, that's a perfect excuse for not going to work or doing
exactly.
I gotcha. So anyways, I had done this, right? And I mean, I had everything perfectly set up. And I go to turn my car around so that I'm pointing up the hill and into my driveway, and I accidentally went too far, and my car just slid. And so I was finally able to get it stopped, and it literally is at the precipice of falling over a cliff and may fall into my neighbor's house, which is right at the bottom of that cliff. So,
I mean, has your neighbor come out to?
No, they haven't seen it. They haven't seen it yet. Their young son often walks his small puppy in our front yard, right underneath where the car would crash.
So if it were to happen at this point,
it seems premeditated. I mean, you're the lawyer, but we are all now going to be witnesses in a trial.
That's right.
No, it's all good. It's all good. I think I've got ample space. It's freaking me out. So anyways, let's take on one of the questions that we got.
Why don't we do the actual topic and then we'll take on the question?
You want to do the holiday gift?
Sure. Okay. So let's talk about some gamer gifts, non-board gaming gifts.
Okay. Well,
why don't you start, Patrick?
I can start. All right. Well, so one of the things I was thinking about with the popularity of roll and writes, with gamer boards that are wafer thin, there are various things that I've been thinking about getting for myself, and done a little research. And so I think a laminator is a great gift for a gamer that is non-gaming related. And I've done some research, and based upon what I have found, one of the best all-around laminator laminators is the Scotch Pro TL906 laminator. And they're like
you're getting for real with this.
Yeah,
why is that the best laminator? What?
Well,
are those the laminators that come to life when Skynet goes online?
It is the ones that come to life. Yes, Jeremy. However, they have a domestication chip within them, so they will not laminate your genitals.
Wait, what?
No, just keep going. Just keep going.
So in any event, I
mean, if you're into that kind of thing, it sounds amazing. But what?
I am not. No one is.
In any event,
hey, I was just making a Terminator joke, people. You just took this in a really weird place.
Here's a picture of it that you guys can look at. Of the laminator.
Not the laminated genitals.
I would like to mention that we do not have the editing capabilities that we would have in a normal podcast episode we record.
Well, this is after dark. But anyways, this is a laminator. You guys can get it. It's just at $89. I've seen it for less at other places. The reason it's good is because it has the double. Some of them only heat on the top. This heats on the top and the bottom. It can handle 2 different thicknesses. And it's pretty durable. There are cheaper ones you can get, but I've been reading that they wear out pretty quickly. So that is my recommendation for.
I have a question. Okay. So is the largest that you can laminate, is it a legal size piece of paper, like an 8x11? Is that as big as you can laminate?
A little larger. I think this is this is a 9-inch. So yeah, it's about.
All right, what are we laminating with this? Like player boards?
Yeah.
Yeah, player boards, roll and write pieces of paper, so you don't have to waste the paper.
Okay. All right, let's move on. I want to hear something else. Christina, what is your gaming? What did we say it was?
Non-game board gaming gift.
Yeah, it's easier.
Yeah. So I actually have 2. One's a shameless plug. The first one would be these wonderful new blue peg, pink peg pint glasses.
I was wondering if anybody would be classless enough to do that. Thank you, Christina.
Me. Ding, ding, ding. If you can see, they are the Hurt Alley IPA pint glasses. You don't want to be the only one this season without one. So if you have a spouse or someone in your family that has a drinking problem, doesn't necessarily have to be an alcoholic drinking problem. Maybe they like Coca-Cola or lemonade or their sweet tea. You need one of these glasses. So that was my first idea.
Okay.
The second idea, the real idea, is that you can, let's say you have someone in your life that loves a specific board game and you want to get them some kind of art or something associated with the board game. There are 2 ideas you could do. You could actually contact the artist of the board game to see if they do commissioned work. So you can kind of help artists out in that way and get them to do a commissioned, unique personal piece for your game board person. Or my favorite guy is this fellow here, Notched Nerd. He makes wooden pieces, like you can see in the back. That is a Voluspa tile, and it's out of wood. It's burned wood. Here's another beautiful piece right here. It's a piranha pig, and he can do anything. He can do comics, he can do superheroes, he can do board games. As long as you have an image of what you want him to put in the wood, he can do it. He's amazing to work with. He's another artist. So here's his info. He has an Etsy shop that you can kind of look at all of his other stuff that he does, and he's also on Twitter as well. So I just earned a couple of dollars commissioning some work for people.
Wait, I don't think you get money off of that. We get
where is it real fast? What's it called again?
Notched Nerd.
Yeah, and it's on Etsy.
On Etsy, his shop is Notched Nerd. And then he is also on Twitter at Notched Nerd. You can follow him, and he posts a lot of his work that he does there.
Yeah, he does incredible stuff.
Full disclosure, he did send us a couple things, and then I commissioned him last year for some Christmas presents too. So he does do really cool stuff.
He does great
his
stuff.
Stuff is great. I was just trying to pull some stuff up to throw up there. His stuff is across the board, and he's a worthwhile follow on Twitter for sure. He's always throwing up really, really cool stuff. He did a Magic Mana guild symbols, like for tokens. He handmade a bunch of those. He's got a Mr. Boogedy up right now. A really cool nightmare on here. I'll show you guys this. I'll share this.
Did we even reach out to this guy and tell him that we were going to talk about him?
It's a big surprise.
I'll tag him. I'll tag him in Twitter and let him know that we helped push people his way. But the other nice thing is he's really reasonable.
Cool.
Like, it's not super expensive. So
yeah, it's super cheap.
If you're looking for something like in budget, but that's unique to maybe up your game board room with art, I think he's a great guy to go with.
Well, the Elizabeth tile is amazing looking. So
I love it.
I like that.
Yeah, his
the
stuff.
Marquee.
Yeah. But he's got some great stuff. Really, really cool guy. And and really awesome. Great job there, Christina.
All right, Jeremy, what about
Thanks.
What about you?
Not that you need my approval, but
you'll cry tonight if you didn't say that. So thanks for that.
No, I won't. Thanks, guys.
Yeah, it's first. So, Christina, first of all, you've got the infomercial patter down great. All you needed was someone to come in the room and knock a mop over, or all the dishes to fall out of a cabinet. Whoa!
Or I kind of slide over like this and do one of these.
I broke all my glasses. Well, here's a Hurt Alley IPA. So you were good job. Good job.
Thank you. Why is everyone telling me I did a good job? I know I do a good job.
Because we didn't expect you to.
You didn't expect me to.
That's right.
Oh, good job, Christina. Way to ruin the podcast.
Jeez.
Is that better?
What do you got, Jeremy?
Okay, so actually what I got first is I didn't follow instructions exactly right. So my gifts are not board game accessories, and I'm not shilling our own stuff tonight. But a lot of my board game time has taken up what used to be reading time, so I thought I'd recommend a couple of books. One that I did get to this year, and another one that's sitting on my lack of shelf because all the rest of my books are in storage. But the first is one of my favorite authors when I was a kid was Tad Williams, who wrote the Memory, Sorrow, and Thorn trilogy, Tail Chaser Song, which if you ever want a horribly depressing book about cats in the vein of Watership Down, go read Tail Chaser Song. There's cat slave scenes and all kinds of crazy, horrible things that happen. But it's a great book. That's not the book I'm recommending, though.
Don't get that one.
So Memory, Sorrow, and Thorn was a trilogy he wrote. I guess it was in the 90s, thereabouts. And this is a trilogy where after I read the second book, I think it took him a number of years before why am I watching myself talk right now? Anyway, it took him a number of years, and I used to have nightmares or dreams about this book coming out. So he just recently has released the beginning of another sequel to the Memory, Sorrow, and Thorn books. And Tad Williams, if you're not familiar with him, he is kind of the George R.R. Martin before there was a George R.R. Martin. He bridged the gap between sort of Tolkien high fantasy and then a fairly dark approach. So I'm really excited about the sequel to the Memory, Sorrow, and Thorn. Highly recommend it if you need a big fat book. That is a one to go at. And the other one is a title called The Queen of Swords. And I've talked about a local author, Rod Belcher, who's written a number of different fantasy series. One of them, The Brotherhood of the Wheel, is like this wizard truckers fighting demons on the highway. This book, The Queen of Swords, is the third in his Golgotha, which is a Weird West series. And Weird West is pretty much my favorite, one of my current favorite settings, I guess. the cool thing about Queen of Swords is while it's the third in the series, if you hadn't read the first 2 books, you could actually get away with reading just this book. It does a fairly good job of standing alone, and it's about the Pirate Queen Anne Bonny, and it goes back and forth between sort of the book's history and then the book's current Weird West era about this kind of sisterhood of these warrior women who are trying to save the world and all of the various things that happen about it. So it's a great fantasy novel, a really cool setting, and like it's one that I would like get my daughter to read. You know, if you kind of want to stick with that strong female lead kind of a novel that's still just a great high fantasy sort of thing. It's a very good title. So Queen of Swords, highly recommended. So when you're not playing board games or laminating your genitals and just want to relax with the book,
Jeremy,
there are a couple of things. Or maybe you're waiting for the laminate to cool. I don't know.
I'm the censor guy right now. Hey, Jeremy, David Turner wants to know, have you ever played Deadlands?
I have not. That's one that has been on my list. I've played the Werewolf Wild West setting, which is about the closest I have gotten. And I've played Weird West home settings, but I haven't played Deadlands. We actually, if you recall, Rob, that card game Deadlands, that I wanted to get into and decided it wasn't for me. But the reason I wanted to try it was the Deadlands theme. So, at any rate, maybe someday I'll get into the RPG.
Are you thinking of Doomtown?
Yeah, that's set in Deadlands.
Oh, is it?
Yes, I believe it's. Oh, someone correct me if I'm wrong, but I believe. Oh yeah, I'm watching the chat right now, but I believe it's set in the Deadlands kind of universe.
So we have a follow-up question. I'll just take these as they come in, and I not really relative to that, but someone did ask if any of us are comic book readers, and if we are comic book readers, do any of us have any specific titles that we are interested in reading? And Rob and Christine, weren't you guys reading some stuff with Hatton Harper?
Well, this is for our 9-year-old, right? So she's really into a series called Amulet. And I mean, she's head over heels, so much so today. She's like, wouldn't it be cool if they turned it into a movie, Dad? And I'm just like, I'm just glad you're talking to me about geeky stuff. So I don't care. And then one of our peg heads at Piranha Pig brought us Lumberjanes, right?
Yeah, it was Lumberjanes.
And she's into that. And then, are we reading anything else? We want to find some more for her to read. I don't really read too much comic books. I pretty much just go to the movies and see all the Marvel things because I'm a Marvel fanboy.
Yeah. What about any of the rest of you? Do any of the rest of you read anything in particular?
Mm-mm.
You know, I had tried to get Penelope into comic books. We used to do a weekly trip to our local comic book shop, and I'd let her pick some things out. But I think, I never really read anything, and she would just get some of the Marvel stuff. And maybe Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles. I think those were the things that she was into. But other than occasionally delving into the various like Neil Gaiman graphic novel collections, I haven't otherwise done too much.
Well, I am a fan of, I like graphic novels quite a bit. I've read a lot of Hellboy and the spinoffs from that. I've read Deadly Class. Followed that for a while. I'm trying to think what else. I mean, and then what are some others? Well, that's what I'm reading right now is Deadly Class. So it's pretty good. But yeah, there's a lot of little things I'll pick up, like little mid series, and get a few trades to see if I like them. I like Image a lot, and I don't know, Kick-Ass. I like Kick-Ass for a while when it was out. So yeah.
All right. Well, let me answer the question to the thing we're going to start the whole podcast, the whole episode off with. Keep calling it an episode. It's a hangout. What are we doing? I went a different route as well. Like I didn't actually get an item. Like I got a service. So my buddy every year. Yeah, I'm gonna service. Never mind. So my buddy every year for
does it involve a laminator?
Oh my god, buddy. every year for his birthday, he has a poker game. And for this poker game, he has everybody over. And, his partner will sort of like she'll come down and she'll like, hey, does anybody need anything? She, buys some food for everybody. She's like, hey, does anybody need the beers? What I propose is for if you're listening to this and you don't play a lot of board games, or you're a board gaming couple and you're trying to find something for your board gaming partner, offer up a day of gaming for them, meaning that you'll take care of everything. So you'll provide the food, you'll make sure that everything is, make sure everybody's constantly being topped off, whatever that they want to play. You'll offer to do the dishes. You'll do the whole thing. They don't have to worry about anything. All they have to worry about is playing their favorite games. So I thought, like,
I have a question.
No, I'm not done. Almost like a coupon book, right? Just be like, hey, coupon for your gaming day. You cash in whatever. Yes, Christina, what is your horrible question?
Does that person also get to play the games too, or no?
Well, I don't know. When I originally came up with the idea, I thought that it was coming from a person who's maybe not into board gaming, but are looking to buy something for their board gaming significant other. And then as I was saying, I was like, oh, wait a minute. If they're at least listening to this, they're probably both into board gaming. So I gotta improvise on the fly.
So what you're saying is that someone listening to this right now should recommend to a significant other that Yeah.
What do you want for Christmas? Well, why don't you give me a coupon for a board gaming day?
Just sit in the corner and wait until you're called upon.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. No, I ring the bell. Yeah.
I mean, I thought like the way to give that gift, since you need something to wrap, is to have some sort of costume, like a butler's uniform maybe, or a chauffeur's hat. Just like, here, I will wear this.
And only on that day only, you have to refer to me as Mr. Rouse, Master Rouse, whatever. I don't care.
That's a good one, Rob.
I have to say, it does feel a little bit, though, like I am disinclined. Like, it does kind of echo that sort of thing that you got your mom on Mother's Day when you were young, and you're like, oh, crud, I forgot to get her anything, so I'm making her a coupon of hugs or something like that.
Yes.
Like it does have that sort of.
So what I'm worried about is, like, I did that a lot as a kid, but they never got traded in. I'm worried that my mom is actually gonna like cash this in and like bulk. Like, remember when you wrote this to me when you were in 5th grade? I don't know why she's a
Well, that's why she needs so much help at that point.
You got to give mama a hug.
That's funny you mentioned that, because I did a coupon book for Tara. The kind of the theme was we had a friend who did printmaking, so I got like these special letterpress cards and things that I made the book out of. And she's very forthright that she is reserving that coupon book for, not just a board game day or do the dishes, but one of these days I'm going to need to like replace the engine in her car or something, and I'm going to have to learn how to do that because she's got a coupon.
Wait, did you honestly give her things that you are incapable of doing?
Well, I mean, they don't
specifically welding her undercarriage or something like that.
They're not.
Whoa!
They don't specifically say that. But I did give my girlfriend, who is a lawyer, a fairly open-ended, like, contractual arrangement. It's written and signed, so. Who knows? There's no loophole.
Is there a cash equivalent? That's the one thing I'd have to wonder about that.
I should have thought of that.
I just want to say that we had a Tim Verning in the thread said that your coupon book could be called "Play It Forward." Isn't that cute? That's such a good idea.
He just walks around with great ideas. You need to write that down and do a thing with that, Tim.
Very, very, very cool. So we've hit all of our. Have we got any more gifts we want to talk about?
Well, no, because I feel like mine went astray.
I thought yours was great.
Thank you.
Hey, honey, I know what I don't want for Christmas.
Good job.
Wait, what don't you want for Christmas?
I feel like it's something inappropriate.
A coupon book? I'm good.
Oh, you don't want that?
No.
I'll be right back.
So the next, let's head over to. You spoke of Tim. Let's Tim had an actually pretty good question for us all on. I think he sent it to us as an email. And Tim is a masterful demo professional. He demos for groups and teaches people to demo, and he's really, really, really good at it. And one of the questions that he asked us was, do we demo? We do. And when we demo, what tips do we give to people for how they should demo? And so, do any of you guys have anything? I'm going to have some thoughts, but I
think that his actual question was, what are some characteristics for demoers, like some good things that demoers do or something of that nature?
Yeah.
I'm gonna look up his question because I think you're both wrong.
Something about that. Well, I don't have it here in front of me right this minute. I have it on a window. I could look at it. But in any event,
is what makes a demoer a good demoer or something like that?
Is that what it was? Okay.
I don't know. I could be lying.
All right. So let's say that then. Let's just assume it was that question. Because you know what? Nobody else saw the email. Nobody. We just clicked something to ourselves.
No. This is important because Tim is on the Hangout, so we have to.
Tim knows. Tim knows.
His question is: I'm wondering what is one thing you each think is important to do besides teaching the rules when doing demos?
Okay. Well, anyone want to start with that?
Yeah, I'll start.
Learn the rules. Oh wait.
Okay. No, what I think is really important is explaining how you can utilize that game in maybe multiple settings. Like if it's a beer and pretzel kind of a game, talk about how you can incorporate that game in their life back home. Because when people are at cons, they see games and they look easy because they're already on the table, they're already set up. And then when you get the game and you go home and it's kind of like, well, I have to teach this to all of my friends, and like maybe it's a nuisance to get out onto the table. Like, how am I going to do this? So maybe while you're demoing the game, you can talk about ways and places that you can actually get to play it. Whether that's if you have a significant other, take this game. This is a great game to take to the coffee shop, or if you have a work lunch, and you can take this game maybe to play with work people at lunch. So I think talking about how you can get the game played, rather than just playing it maybe with the people in your home, is enticing, because people start thinking about all the ways I can use it. And if I'm going to spend money on it, I want to know I'm going to get it to table, or I'm going to get to play it. So here, that person already gave me a bunch of ideas on how I can play the game. So that's my idea.
Excellent.
So something, I think one of the things that's happening is you're at that moment an ambassador for the hobby, in addition to demoing that game, right? So I think just engaging that person, what else do you like? Have you play games? Is this your first con or your visit to the store? Sort of things like that. Get a sense of where they are as a gamer. Partly that's going to help you, I think, really say, we demoed this game, but here's another game that I think you would like better. Maybe this game isn't for you, or this game is for you, given what I've learned about your situation. But I think just engaging folks, because you've got them just for a minute, a couple minutes. If you're at a big con, they're busy, they're talking to a lot of people. If it's new to if this is their first time, you are going to be sort of a voice for the hobby that they're going to be engaging in. So just making sure that regardless of, I think, their experience with the game, and do they understand how it works, and etc., are they going to buy it, so forth and so on, but that you've engaged them, that their experience with the hobby in general is pretty good, even if that means maybe recommending a game somewhere else. That's maybe this game or this publisher I'm volunteering with isn't for you, but here's where to go.
No, I think that's a fair point, because you'll appear less like you're selling and pushing that game like a card salesperson, and more like an ambassador, like you said. I think that's a good idea.
Yeah.
What was that?
Excellent.
Who's whistling?
That was my.
Nobody's whistling, Christina.
Okay. So Rob, what are you doing then when you're
enthusiasm? Enthusiasm. You have to make it like you said. Something you said I thought was interesting. You only have them for a couple of minutes. Man, I've been in the demo for like 30 minutes to an hour. But let's say in this scenario, you've only got like 5 minutes. Make it a party, right? Like you're having fun, you're enthusiastic. I guess it all depends on the type of games. Usually the games that I have to demo are the ones that you have to be like loud and whatever. Of course, I guess I can make any game sort of loud, but enthusiasm. Make them have a good, not make them have a good time.
This game is called Whispers to Quieting.
All right, who wants to whisper?
Let's go into it.
You whisper. You whisper. They want to leave the table going, well, that was a lot of fun, right? Because yes, you're an ambassador, but you're also trying to, if you're working someone's booth, you want them to buy a game, right? Like, and so you want them to have fun. When we were at Essen, I taught people how to play. Now, be it was just a dice game, but I taught people who did not speak any English how to play a game. And, I just, it was kind of universal, some of the rules, but it was just the enthusiasm, the laughing, the having, like you make a little bit of competition. Oh, I'm going to get you this time. It's, I don't know. It's about how you present the game. So I'd say, on top of learning the rules. Now, Stephen Seitz brought up a good point. The question was not about rules, but one of the things that people sometimes forget in a demo is start off with, this is how you win the game. That's just one thing a lot of people forget. This is the objectives, or this is how you win the game. That's important. But take the rules aside, being enthusiastic. That's my answer. And I hope I was enthusiastic when I gave the answer about enthusiasm, which is a big deal.
And my only kind of thing to add to that is get to it, man. People's time is limited. You got to have your pattern in place. It's more than just sort of saying the rules. You need to know how to sequence it, as Rob said, sort of like talk about the ways that you win. What do they need to know? How do they need to know it? And if you've got a game that required, like a complex game, you need to have a setup prepared. You need to have the game set up in a preordained game state, so they're not playing for something where they have to get the engine going, so they understand the engine, so they can get into the heart of the play. This of course assumes that we're dealing with a traditional kind of American setting where you're not playing the whole game. So anyways, that's the only thing I would add. I think the rest of what you guys said was perfect. I'm not going to overly belabor the point. Another question that we got is from Stephen Seitz. You mentioned Stephen just a second ago, I believe, Rob. He had several, but I'll start with just kind of we'll start hot out of the gate. What is everybody's favorite game of 2018?
Ooh, that's tough. I don't know. There have been a lot of really good games and a lot of smaller games that I don't think got a lot of buzz that are actually really fun. Let's see. I really liked, obviously the ones that we've been playing recently, I really enjoyed, like Underwater Cities and Blackout. I really like those a lot. But Quacks on Quedlinburg is probably going to be my favorite game of 2018.
What about you, Rob? You got a favorite?
Well, so here's the dilemma, is that my favorite game of 2018, we're getting ready to record an episode about. So, like, I could make up something. I like Blackout. I like Blackout Hong Kong. That's got some mixed reviews, but I thoroughly enjoy the game. It might be a scotch too long, but I really like the game. Of course, I think that might be a future review too. But yeah, I'm going to have to say it, Coimbra. So I guess people are going to get a Coimbra. People are going to get a sneak preview. What? Coimbra.
Oh,
is that close?
No, you nailed it. You nailed it.
Thank you. So that is going to be our next episode. That's we haven't even recorded yet, but I like that game a lot. It's my favorite from 2018, probably by a long shot.
All right. What about you, Jeremy?
That is a tough question because most of 2018 I played older games. Like that. This in my little hiatus here, I spent most of my time delving into my collection. So I don't really know that I have a good grasp. I'm just now starting to play games that were released this year, just in the last couple of weeks. Of those, I'd probably have to say I'm with Rob. That Coimbra is definitely, I think, the most engaging and the most interesting one. But I had the caveat that I haven't played a ton, even of the ones that are more in my thematic wheelhouse. So I'm sure I'm missing something. Check back in 2019 and I'll tell you my favorite game of 2018.
Yeah, and I actually think it's been kind of a down year for games.
What?
But, yeah.
What?
Well,
get out of here with your face.
Like not a lot of good games?
No, nothing's really blown me over. I like I'm with Rob though. Blackout and Coimbra are my two favorites so far. All right. Well, another question we've got is somebody asked about the topic discussions. We used to do topics in the show. Is that ever coming back? I'll start the response to that. Probably not. It's just a time thing. Like we have sort of decided that we want to keep the focus upon the banter and sort of the interactions that we have in the opening of the show. We will, we have this plan to sort of do these standalone episodes that would be topic oriented, and we never kind of really, it's just we don't have time for that. But I don't imagine the topics will ever come back as their own thing. We may occasionally have some standalone episodes where we'll discuss a topic. Anybody else have comments in regards to that?
Well, I think with that said, like, I think when there are things that happen that are important to us that we feel passionate about, whether it's a conversation or something happening in the industry, we'll talk about it. It just might not be its own full segment of a topic discussion like we had done in the beginning. Because I think when we feel like we have a voice, which we do as a podcast, that we should be sharing our thoughts and opinions about things. I think we've done that pretty well historically on how we feel. So I think we'll still do those things. It may just not be its own segment.
Yeah, so go ahead.
I don't know that, like, if there's nothing to talk about, we shouldn't force it. And I think sometimes that would happen. But I think I'm with Christina. Sometimes there's going to be things that we're going to want or need to discuss. And I think we're open to that.
At the end of the day, given our current format, our episodes are pretty long. And one of the, I'm not going to say complaints, but some of the comments are, you're too long. So ideally, and I'm always yelling at these guys, we got to cut this,
Yeah,
I want to keep it 90 minutes to 2 hours. Now, we always go over the 2 hour mark, but we're aiming for the 2 hour mark. Adding in that topic is adding in another half hour of us talking. So I'm fine with, essentially cutting the topics. I look forward to the banter part where we tell about the relationships, the stories that are going on. Like, I don't want to sacrifice that part that a lot of people kind of feel like they're invested. And they like they're part of our family, and we get emails about, oh, how's Harper doing? And she, so I don't want to cut that part. I don't want to sacrifice that part for just forcing a topic. Plus, we've already gone through a ton of topics. Like, I don't know. I like the idea of just doing the separate episodes. One of the things I want to revisit is the wisdom check. I love that episode when we do that. We haven't done those in a while.
I think.
Go
sorry.
ahead.
No, it's you, Christina. The screen's on you.
Woohoo! I cut you off successfully. Woohoo! Pew pew.
Overtalking, Christina. Come on.
Yeah.
I wouldn't call that successful.
Out of all of us, I'm pretty sure I'm entitled to some over talking.
I know.
Now. No, what I was going to say is I think if there are specific things that our listeners are wanting us to talk about or hear our thoughts about that we might not incorporate into the show, just hit us up on Twitter, and we'd love to respond with, thoughts about things on Twitter or maybe other social media platforms through our Facebook page and things like that. So that if you have this like burning thing you want to know what our thoughts are, just use a different modality, because it might not get into the show, but we'd be more than happy to reach out on our other social media.
Yeah, I agree. I would like to do more topic discussion, actually. There's a lot of things that I think I'd like for us to take up. We started, towards the end of the topics, we started doing like dark side of gaming, because when we had that episode, we talked about gaming obsession. And I would like to do some episodes that explore some of that stuff. Cultural sensitivity would be something I'd like to talk about. I think I'd like to talk about, some issues revolving around sort of ethics and integrity within content creation. So I would like to do more topic discussion, but I like the format of the show as it is. A little inside, I was more of an advocate for the topics than the rest of the cast, I think would be safe to say. I like that part of the format, but I'm cool with what we do now. I'm not saying that that is a critique. It's just that I would like to be able to talk more about some other topics. I think we might do that in some standalone episodes. It's just a question of coordinating that so that we can several of us can be available to discuss it. All right, let me see. Different question. Okay.
Patrick, are you wearing like an undershirt?
Yeah, I am. I'm wearing.
Okay,
I'm wearing
for us.
Just
an
undershirt.
I'm gonna get some ice. It's important that you don't talk about me while I'm gone.
All right.
Oh,
yeah,
we're gonna talk. Just an undershirt and a laminator.
Yeah. Well,
Yeah.
I've been dealing with a problem in the yard.
Okay, guys. Here's the most important question: what is the thing you like least about Rob? He's not here. It's fine.
Us. I was telling the listeners.
Like the whole world. Let's just dig in. You got like 2 minutes.
No, he's
Can't
back.
take that. Oh, hi, Rob.
Hey, Rob. Oh, he's back.
So here is one question that we got from somebody. I'll ask you guys. We'll let Christina. You can start in our response. Spirit animals. What are your spirit animals? Understanding, of course, that phrase is actually problematic.
Is your board game spirit animal? Right?
Wait a minute. Why is it problematic?
Because it minimizes an important spiritual feature of some indigenous cultures' faith, and spirit animals have a core place within the faith, the experience of faith for a lot of people.
So you're still going to ask us this question?
Well, yeah. I mean, I think that acknowledging the fact that it can be a problem.
Okay.
It's still in the lexicon. I think it's appropriate to talk about it. Christina, what's your board game? What's a board game that is representative of who you are? Let's say it that way.
So everyone knows. Well, not everybody might not know, but my favorite game is Galaxy Trucker. And I think that is very representative of actually who I am as a person. Whereas, like, I like to put things together really neatly as far as things are organized. They're in their place. They have a home where they need to live. But then you know what? Life happens, and your ship sometimes gets obliterated. But I am really easygoing as far as like stuff happens. You just roll with it. You move on. You kind of deal. You lost some people into space. It's okay. And you just kind of figure it out. And so I think Galaxy Trucker is a good representation of just like my overall like perspective on the world is like stuff happens and you just keep going. You just keep trucking.
So you got that kind of just keep on trucking. All right. Very good, Christina. What about you, Jeremy? What is a board game that is representative of you?
Oh gosh. Yeah, this was a kind of a hard one to think about. What I'm going to go with now is Tales of the Arabian Nights.
Oh God.
Yeah. Just, because storytelling is a big part, I think, of what I like to do. I think it's a big part of just who I am, how I interact with people. It's a weird game, but I think that's appropriate. Well, yes. But just in terms of the experience of playing that game, right? I guess it touched a little bit on what Christina said about, thanks, Daniel, a game nobody wants to play. That's my
He did say he was going to log on just to heckle.
But just in terms of the game itself as a separate thing, the idea of just exploration and weird, ridiculous storytelling, and sometimes making choices that have absolutely no impact on what actually happens to you is just, I guess I'd say that for the moment. Like everyone wants me to say like Arkham Horror or something like that, but I don't know. Those are games I like, but I don't know that that's reflective. Kind of, and I was trying to.
What we should have done with this question is that we should have answered it for the other people.
Oh, interesting.
That's true.
Interesting.
All right,
because so far, I don't like any of the answers.
Okay, well, Rob, why don't you tell us?
Yeah.
What you think is representative of you, and then you can tell us the board game that you think is representative of each of us.
I don't have answers for any of those questions, but I do gotta say that Christina's board game, her spirit animal, drives me nuts. Like, can we use this as like a therapy moment? Like,
sure.
Like she's all, everything can go crazy, and I just want to go with the flow. We'll make it at the end. Sometimes you don't. Sometimes your ship falls apart, and because you didn't plan very well, boom, you don't make it to the end. So so my answer is anything not Galaxy Trucker.
We're in the end together, and that's something. And
No,
it'll
no.
be
If you make it to the end, it's because you're hitchhiking on my ship because your ship is falling to pieces in the back. I had to circle back around, almost missed my shipment deadline to pick you up.
But here's my flip on that is like, you know, yeah, okay, everything screws up and goes horrible, but like, but what does it matter at the end of the day? Like, there's so few things in this world that we worry about, right? There's so many things in this world that we worry about all the time, and I'm like everybody else, right? We worry. And at the end of the day, none of that matters.
It doesn't matter.
You know, that's why I can see where you're coming from, Christina. Like, yeah, it's crazy and it's chaotic, but whatever. You laugh when it's all done.
I mean,
right.
I've tried that. It doesn't matter at the end of the day to the bank when I missed a mortgage payment. Didn't fly. So sometimes things matter, guys.
Sorry, bank. I made some choices, but we'll make it there together.
I did this work myself and my garage blew up, but it's okay.
Well,
again, Jeremy and I are aligning.
Yeah, well, it
Rob
works.
is my.
So what's your representative game, Rob?
Should have prepared an answer.
Because
Jennifer, she called me out on the thread. She goes, look at Rob. He's looking at his game collection right now. Yes, I am. You know what? I don't want any social deduction game. I feel like that's like when I walk into a room, I will. This says horrible things about me. Like, I don't know. When I walk into a room, I'm immediately analyzing all the people that are around me. Like, you know, and Christina says, I don't care. I'm just building my shit. But I'm just, you know, I focus on the person. And, you know, I like to kind of break people down as I talk to them, like just in my mind. You know, am I good at it? Probably not. Christina loves to tell me how often you're like, you say you do that for a living, but you're always wrong. I don't know why she has a Southern accent all of a sudden. But like, almost, go ahead.
I was going to say, so Secret Hitler is your board game.
I was going to say Secret Hitler, but I'd rather not say that my game animal, spirit animal, has anything to do with Nazi. I mean, Hitler, like, right? So any social, like werewolf, I don't mind being a werewolf. Like, I enjoy that as a gamer, but I also enjoy it as a person too.
No,
like,
I think you need a game that's like where you pre-plan and future plan like every movement out, like down to the last penny of what resources you have. To the
what is that game? What is that Feld game where you have the all the bits? Starts with an M. I got it somewhere.
Wait,
it's the one that you have to, not. Is it Macau?
I don't know. Many of his games have lots of bits.
No, but it starts with an M. It's the one that you have to plan so far in advance.
That's probably Macau. It's got the compass rose that moves.
Yes.
It's Macau.
Mr. Newman said it. Yes. So like that's me. Like I like to think that far in advance. Am I good at it? Probably not. But I like to do it because I'm a control freak.
See, I'm with Christina. Like the social deduction, that's something you're good at. You have fun with. But when I think of Rob, I think of a game where every turn, every action is, at least the player thinks, there are dire consequences based on your choice. That you are not allowed an inefficient turn because you'll spend the rest of the game looking at that inefficient turn going, I messed that one up. I should have done that one better. Like every single decision point is extraordinarily important. That's the Rob. I don't know what game that is. Sure. That's the Rob game.
You know who appreciates that? The bank.
I'm not arguing. I'm not saying that's a terrible thing. But that is the Rob game.
I'm a planner.
All right. Well, mine is going to be, I'll say like Die Mocker or, any other kind of game that's insanely complicated, way too complex. That's just an example of a game that's of that nature. Overly stuffed, way more complicated than it needs to be, just way over programmed and over designed, takes too long to do everything. And really at the end of the day, once you've spent a lot of time with it, you realize you really probably could have been doing something better. So that is the type of game that I think is
Are you okay, Patrick? Are you okay? I mean, you're wearing an undershirt and you're talking about
Nobody believed you wear pants.
Like, you just basically said you're a game that people should just keep on the shelf.
I think that's right. I'm the sort of. I think my personality is the sort that, like, it looks good when it's, when you're not dealing with it. But once you're like halfway into it, you're like, I could have done.
I know your car is about to land in someone's nursery, but that's not your fault, Rob.
Wait, what?
All right, so we've got our alter ego games. Let's see. Another question that we have is, what is our best con that we've been to this year? Well, I'll answer that one to start out. The only con I've been to this year was PAX, so easy. Okay, leaving aside RobCon. What about you guys? Rob, Christina, you guys have went to cons. Which one was yours?
My favorite con was, I don't know, I enjoyed all of the cons for very different. They each had some
cop out answer.
I'm not done yet.
Okay.
Yeah.
Good job.
Thanks. But probably in the totality of the con, it was Origins. That was probably my favorite con. A couple of reasons. One is we took a gaming couple with us that had never been to a game con before. And I don't know, just seeing their eyes light up every morning like it was Christmas Day, going to the con was super fun, and exposing them to all of that was fun. And then our mashup meetup was probably one of the best social get-togethers I have had at a con so far. And not just because it was our mashup meetup, but because like all of our listeners were there, and it was literally like a party with all of your friends and family that you only get to see once a year. And so that was really, really a lot of fun. I'm gonna say Origins, by far best one.
All right, what about you,
Rob? We went to a lot this year. We're going to be cutting back next year. I just yelled at Christina for saying it, but I love a lot of them for different reasons. Origins was great. Because of all the things that Christina said. Really, the mashup meetup was incredible, especially after we gave out all the games and everybody who had things they wanted to do left, and it was just like the core people who wanted to hang. That was really cool. And then watching Christina and Isaac dance was a treasured moment that I will always have. Although I gotta say, well, no, that's a different episode. So I'm gonna have to go with. God, I love Piranha Pig Con and I love RobCon. So I'm gonna just put those two together and say that those are my favorite con, unless you want to make me pick, because I loved, like, we played.
One is Christina's and one is mine, so you have to choose.
Piranha Pig Con. Because it's not that I didn't have, oh, God. Not that I had, like, low expectations, but I was like, nothing could be better than RobCon. And it kind of was. The food was better. It smelled better. Like, the people were super friendly. Not that RobCon people are friendly, but it was just like everybody was, it was great. And I'm really looking forward to it this year. We got more people where it's going to be insane, but I'm that was my biggest. That was my biggest surprise of the year. I had the most fun there, I think, out of all the cons. So I'm going to say Piranha Pig Con, but it's close to RobCon.
All right, very, very cool. Let's see.
What about you, Jeremy?
Well, I didn't get to hit any cons this year except for RobCon. So of my gaming cons, I'm going to have to say by default RobCon, but also because I really like it, Rob. It is probably my favorite time I get to spend with my friends. I know you have other friends you enjoy more, but so RobCon is up. I'm going to stretch the definition a little bit just to say I did go to a professional convention this year in LA, and I got to take my daughter with me. And so Penelope and I spent about a week in California at a transportation con, and did the San Diego Zoo and Hollywood and things like that. And it was some of the most time I got to spend with her for a little while. I don't even know that we got to play any games, but anyway, so that was a great con. It wasn't a gaming con, but it was fun I hate LA, and I'm sorry if anyone lives there. LA is a city I can't stand, but California is fine, and getting to see my family and hang out with Penelope was great. But
would it be too negative to ask what the worst con of the year was? Probably.
There you go, Debbie Downer.
Wah, wah, wah.
Plus, we're going to be talking about some con experiences in our next episode. We don't want to.
Oh, are we?
Put ourselves for. Yeah, we're going to talk about PAX in our next episode.
That wasn't my worst con.
I'm not saying it was,
Okay.
but. All right, so a couple of questions we got here. What is a game we've played recently that is more than 5 years old that we've enjoyed? I can answer that for myself. And TK2 is one that I have been enjoying playing a lot. It's a Princess of Florence is another one I've been enjoying playing a lot. So, but Antique 2 I've been playing a good bit recently, and really it's a solid game. So that's mine. What about you, Christina?
We've been playing a lot of Dominion, and that's still super fun.
Yeah, we broke out. We're still playing through the Nocturne box, but we also started kind of using the Renaissance expansion. I love that game. That game gets a lot of knocks. That game is just a fun game. We had a whole evening. We had a couple up. We had some drinks. The kids ate some pizza, and we played Dominion and had a blast. The game's great.
All right. What about you, Jeremy?
I'm trying to think of what I've played that's been more than 5 years old, and I haven't done a ton. I don't know. I think the oldest one I've played most recently is Freedom: The Underground Railroad.
It looks like you have a tentacle right now, by the way.
Oh, yeah, I do.
Oh my God! What is on your face? Run, Jeremy!
So, and I don't know the age of that one, so I can't speak to if that's
Which one?
old enough. Freedom: The Underground Railroad.
Yeah, it's less than 5 years.
Less than 5 years. Yeah, I don't know that I've played much that's actually older than 5 years.
Yeah, you're on the 1 year, the 1 year behind schedule, not the 5 year behind schedule.
Yeah.
You like Dominant Species a lot. That's more than 5 years old.
Oh, is that okay? Well, in that case, then I would definitely put that. See, my sense of the ages is a little off. If that is, well, Dominant Species would certainly be probably in my top of older games in that case. Mm-hmm. And I just played that a couple weeks ago with the kids.
I'd also be interested to hear what all of the people in the chat, like if they've been playing a game that's 5 years older. Yeah. Have we all answered the question?
And Freedom is a lot older than I thought, by the way, 2012.
Okay. Well, Joshua Habel, sorry, asked, is there anything tingling our pledge fingers these days? I'm going to answer this question because the thing is, first of all, I just reorganized my game situation. I just purged a bunch of stuff. So now I'm in a place that if I keep a game, another game's got to go. David Turner mentioned this to me at PAX as well, but I just can't expand anymore. I gotta stop. So if a game makes my collection, something else has got to go. That being said, also I've got Joan of Arc coming to me at one point, so I don't know where I'm gonna put that, but just we'll put a pin in that. Right now on Kickstarter, Tainted Grail: The Fall of Avalon has been tickling my pledge finger.
Did you know Franklin Pretzel's back that?
Yep. Well, he asked me about that. He's like, "Hey, are you gonna get that?" Because he was my Kingdom Death Monster buddy, and I was just like, "Well, I haven't really checked it out because I'm trying to buy any games right now." Then I saw it, started looking through it, and I was like, "Oh, this is something I want to get involved in." He's like, "I'm going to back it." I'm like, "Okay, great. Wash my hands of it." But if he hadn't have said that, that was kind of tickling the old pledge finger.
Yeah.
There's nothing out right now on Kickstarter that I'm itching to back, but there are things coming out that I know of in Q1 that I probably will back once they hit Kickstarter. But I'm going to save all of my pledge finger clicking until those games come out, which I'll probably talk about on the show so other people can be aware of them as well.
Jeremy, anything for you?
Yeah, there's nothing right now because about 9 months ago I got pledge finger pregnant, so all of my games are coming due right now.
Congratulations!
Yeah, I know. I'm gonna have like quintuplets in the next month. So I've actually been actively avoiding looking at Kickstarter. Tainted Grail, like I was getting Facebook ads for it, so those folks had me targeted pretty well.
What is your cat doing to you, Jeremy?
She's just this poor cat's like been terrified since we moved. So the fact that she's being social right now is remarkable.
She looks terrified.
Yeah, she always looks terrified.
Is there anything tickling your pledge finger?
No. We'll leave it at that.
All right. So Victor says, or asks, games you can't get your friends to play. Is there anything out there right now that you can't get your friends to play? I have an answer.
Well, go ahead.
Go for
You
it.
start.
Well, first of all, it's a time thing, but Kingdom Death Monster is still on my shelf. I got all kinds of stuff for it that I haven't played. Pathfinder. I'm still down to play that. My Pathfinder buddy moved to Seattle, so I haven't played that since he left. I love that game. I understand that I'm the only person in the world that loves that game, but I love it. Anything else? What about you guys? Is there games that you want to play that your peeps won't play?
I don't think so. I mean, everything I think I want to play, we play. There are games that like I need to play that we haven't played yet, and
there's a huge queue of that.
Yeah. But I don't think there's ever been a time where I'm like, oh, hey, I really want to play this, and someone's like, no, I don't want to do that.
Anytime you want to play a game with me, whatever the game, I will play it because I love spending time with you. I can think
of one game right now that if I said you would not want to play it.
Try me.
What is it?
Honey, do you want to play Vault Assault?
Connor could be on right now. Yes. I love Vault Assault.
What about you, Jeremy?
I'm kind of with Christina. Like I'm trying to think of something off the top of my head. I think often because I'm hosting and I have the games, then if I say we're going to play this, we play it. So I don't know. I'm trying to think of the last time I've had an experience.
We lost Jeremy. So I don't know what happened there, but I will.
The cat was like, you know what? You're done. You're done.
We'll wait for Jeremy to join us back. I don't know what the story is. My answer is I've been wanting to play Game of Thrones a lot recently, and when the expansion came out for the dragons, when they announced it hasn't come out yet. It kind of got it into my mind. I've been trying to get it played with a couple of my groups for a little while, and I just can't get it played. Which is odd for me. So that is, that's the answer for me, Game of Thrones.
Someone asked if we were going to be at Origins 2019.
Mashup Meetup 2019, y'all.
Yeah.
That's how you do it, right?
I don't know. Don't do
Yes,
that.
we are going to be at Origins. Christine and I are not doing a ton of cons, like I've already said once already. Next year, we will be doing RobCon, we'll be doing Piranha Pig Con. We are going to be going to Origins because we want to do our mashup meetup again with the Brawling Brothers and Man vs. Meeple. So those things are going to happen.
Excellent. All right. Well, have we got any?
Jeremy says that his computer completely cut out.
Oh, okay. So I think we lost Jeremy for the duration. Well, we're wrapping up here anyways.
Oh, are we?
Okay, fine. Good night.
We're done.
Patrick.
Well, no, just from a time point of view, we've been at it for an hour. I mean,
Is your laundry ready? You're gonna need to go put on your clean shirts.
No, I am not wearing. This is what I'm gonna wear for the rest of the night. I'm sorry. It is what it is. It's not the. Oh, he's back. Are you on your phone?
Yeah, sorry, my computer cut out, so I'm on my phone. Sorry about that.
All right, that's all right. What else do we?
What'd you guys say while I was gone? Was it as bad as what we said about Rob?
Yeah. Pretty bad.
Worse.
Wait, this is a half-ass Google Hangout if you're on your phone.
No, actually, his phone looks
actually your image is pretty good.
Yeah,
no, I've seen horror movies that start this exact same way.
Yeah. Okay. So here's a question for you guys. What was the that hasn't been asked, but I'm gonna ask. What was the best horror movie for this year?
Ooh, we didn't see a lot of good ones. This year was pretty bad. I think for me, the best one was Quiet Place. We saved that. It wasn't a newer one, but we saved it to watch in October, and that was probably my favorite one.
What about you?
You as in Rob? I think I agree. We, again, horror movie month, we watch a lot of movies. And so when it comes to the actual month itself, we watch a lot of bad ones because we've seen everything. But Quiet Place is probably the best one that we saw this year.
Alrighty. Well, let's of all the people who have, we are going to wrap it up. Actually, people are actually asking us to wrap it up because they have to go pee. So,
in the sake of everyone we will end early.
Yeah, yeah. The other
Oh
thing is
my
that
God! Use a pee jug.
it is not object permanence isn't a problem. If you go away, we will still be here, and you can come back, and we will still be here. We don't disappear just because you can't.
That's not how it works.
Also, Jeremy just disappeared. So,
so listen, everybody who participated, if you were in the chat, and if you're watching and you weren't in the chat, just say I'm here. Type in the comments. Say I'm here. Why do I say that? Because we're going to reach out to one of you. We've got a copy of Arboretum, courtesy of Renegade Games. We're going to be sending it out to one of the participants in this chat. So if you participate,
wait a minute. What if they were here but left because they had other commitments?
I guess they should have stuck in for the whole thing.
Wow.
What?
I mean, I can't help it. I can't go back in time. I can't go back in time. But
you should have opened with that.
Well, I forgot. So in any event,
Remember what kind of board game Patrick is.
Yes.
Get on the shelf, Patrick. Get on the shelf.
And as Josh said, winner must be present to it. You must be present to win. So, anyways, if it is a great game,
Well, how are we going to get their address from them?
I'm going to reach out to them.
Yeah, honey.
I'm able to communicate with people. I can figure it out.
This internet is so confusing.
I know. So listen, guys.
So, by the way, someone did ask about my game, but I guess I'll wait till another time.
Yes.
Well,
yeah.
I mean, what's the short answer, honey?
That's a good way of saying no, Rob.
No, I have been working on a game, just not Scrapland.
Yeah.
I've been working on 2 different games. One of them I can't talk about yet, and the other one just for me. So yeah, there's things going on in the Rouse house.
Yeah. All right. Very cool.
Patrick wants to go pee.
No, I'm
God.
fine. I'm fine.
If you want your pint glass to be delivered and mailed before the holiday, try to get it in early so we can make sure it gets mailed in time for you to have it under your tree.
No guarantees. No guarantees. Absolutely no guarantees. I think it may be too late. But if you do get it to us soon, we'll do our very, very best to get it to you as soon as possible. But yeah, who knows? I had something posted to me that should have gotten here. It got here 5 days late, so the postal service is a little wonky right now. So that's outside of our control. All right, guys.
Sponsored by the U.S. Postal Service.
Postal service. It's kind of wonky. Well, listen, guys. We appreciate you joining us. We appreciate all of your support. We thank our Patreon backers. We really
thank you, Patreon backers. Seriously.
Yeah. And we're going to announce this on our show, but if you are a Patreon backer, there is we will be having a contest for a copy of Coimbra.
Coimbra.
That will be launching during when our next episode releases. And so we really appreciate all of your support. We got some other contests coming up as well. But anyways, guys, have a wonderful holiday season. If we don't talk to you before then, happy holidays to all of you. And we hope you have a great time. And anybody else have anything to say to the pegheads before we go?
No, thanks for joining us.
We all say it at the same time.
We love you guys.
We do love you guys. Well, no matter what games you're playing, maybe you're playing, God, I can't think of any.
Put me on the shelf.
Drop a car on the baby.
Yeah, you're playing Drop the Oh, God.
Wait, did that happen when I was getting ice?
Yeah, it got.
What's that reference to?
My car.
Patrick's car that's going to slide into the neighbor's.
Right. Yeah,
well, no matter what games you're playing, no matter how you're playing, and remember to have some fun while you play.
Those games.
iTunes reviews. Wait, are we doing like a regular episode where I say something at the end?
You just did.
Okay.